It's official. Hardcore New World is officially live, allowing us to play the game we know and love in a new, unique way. However, let's face it, the overall goal is to hit level 65 and unlock all of the exclusive rewards as quickly as possible. And that's exactly what this video is all about. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how you can hit level 65 within 2 hours, and in some cases, even less. And again, I'm going to be doing this step by step. So take a look at the timestamps if you're stuck while leveling your character. And these overall steps should help you make your way to 65 very, very quickly. For starters, after the typical tutorial that many of us have done probably multiple times at this point, we'll be caught up on the beach at around level 2, where we will find our first NPC to talk to. When we speak with them, it's going to be the typical activity of gathering some green wood and some flint to craft our beginner gathering tools. So again, just pick up a few pieces of log and a few pieces of flint, head over to the campfire, build those, and then the fun will really start. So let's go ahead. And again, I like just doing this all in one quick run to save yourself some time. You'll get a sneak peek of some of the caches that are going to be a major part of the hardcore mode, but we'll talk a little bit more about this later on in the video. More importantly, let's go ahead and just start crafting all these different tools so that we can move on and start jumping into the streamlined main story quest, which is again only for the hardcore mode. So once you actually craft all these different tools, you can talk to this other NPC, which is just, a few seconds away from where you started. Speak with Alstrom, and then you'll kind of quickly realize that you're going to have to go on a little bit of a journey. So what you're going to have to do is just go north to the nearest city, or you can just go to the nearest teleport shrine, because what's nice is actually all locations, all teleport shrines are automatically unlocked, which makes your life a lot easier. However, keep your eyes open, because already, if you plan on doing the walk, you're going to encounter some high level wolves, and it's just not worth encountering them at all. So play smart, do what you have to do, and just find a way to this main city so you can get on to the next stage of the quest line. Simply by making it to the city and talking to this NPC, you will already hit level 15. Yes, you just gained basically 13 or 14 levels simply by moving and talking to an NPC. So again, it's going to be very, very quick. Then you're going to see a handful of quests saying that you have to kill enemies between level 5 and 16 and also loot some chests in that area. Right off the bat, I like to move over to this area in the top right corner. Many of you guys might know this is kind of like the spot to go to hunt rabbits, but for this level range, it's actually a great spot to take care of these first set of quests. So again, once you're over there, you're going to see a handful of different undead, corrupted mobs. Just take them down one at a time. Don't stress. Sometimes you might find yourself in a sticky situation, but just kite them, use a weapon to kind of knock them down, use crowd control, self-heal, do whatever you have to do just to make sure that you survive, because again, this is a hardcore mode. You do not want to die. If you do die, chances are you're just going to want to kind of restart your character in order to unlock all of the unfallen rewards, which again are primarily just titles. But again, if you're playing hardcore, you might as well go for everything and try to unlock everything you can. As you can see, as you take down some of these mobs, you're going to be picking up these different unique items, which counts towards the quest. Plus, you can tell it's a little bit of a struggle doing this solo. Um, this is kind of like a blanket statement here. You guys are not alone. Okay, the server is going to be busy, especially the first week or two. So if you want to, go ahead and invite some friends or even some strangers. Like, I don't even know who this guy is, but he helped me out, and I helped him. So I figured let's just go ahead and party up and take care of these quests that we both have to do. As you explore the area, you're going to find everything you need, including these small chests that'll give you those specific cerulean items, as well as more corrupted mobs, allowing you to take them down, pick up everything you need, and then move back over to the NPC that gave you that quest. So once you finish those 2 quests and have the items you need, you're going to speak with Aelstrom again, and he's going to ask you to now use the items you gathered to craft different caches. Again, at the fire at the beach, you guys saw a handful of different caches, and we're going to actually be implementing the first tier of these, which are these novice caches. So you're going to be crafting one of each. You're going to have an armor, a weapon one for jewelry, and one for tools. Once you actually go ahead and get all 4 of those crafted, you're going to make your way back over to Aelstrom and complete this first set of quests. So we're going to be speaking with him, yada yada. Go ahead and complete it. And guess what? You just you just gained a ton of experience. You should now be level 25 already. And realistically, you're probably been playing the game for like 15-20 minutes if you guys are going somewhat quickly. And this is a friendly reminder that every time you complete a set of quests for hardcore, make sure you go ahead and redistribute your attributes and also just double check your weapon skills, because again, one skill or a handful of attributes could be the difference between life or death. Once you complete this quest line, though, you're going to be asked to go ahead and find Aelstrom, who is now in Brightwood. So go ahead and chat with him, and then you're going to have a new set of quests, which looks similar except slightly different. So this time you're going to have to find enemies between level 19 and 36 right there, and you're going to have to take down some named enemies. You're going to have to gather some chests. You're going to have to gather resources to give you a handful of items, and then you have the option of taking down corrupted breaches or even just salvaging fish to get the items that you need. So I move completely west to this area right here. Again, I like to find areas that I know have a handful of chests and some named mobs. It just makes your life so much easier if you can do everything all in one spot. So again, I recommend going to this area, taking your weapons out, and start killing as much as possible. Again, play it safe. This is hardcore. You don't want to run into any issues. But as you can tell, typically there's tons of just small buildings in this area, which also means there's usually mobs and stockpiles and chests. So you have everything you need all in one spot. Plus, you'll be getting some upgrades along the way. So be sure to throw those new pieces of items on to make sure you've got the power to kind of survive. I then came across a handful of people that were kind of doing the same quests that I was doing. I'm sure you guys will come across the same situation. So go ahead and party up when you can. And we made our way into this church here, which I know for a fact is where a specific named mob spawns. What's nice about named mobs is that they do respawn somewhat quickly. So we just hung out in this church for a few minutes until the named mob spawned 2 or 3 times. There he is right here. We took him down quickly, and you can tell right away he'll drop exactly what we need. Here is the quest item right there. And yeah, I got 10 from a single kill, so you might have to kill him 2 or 3 times to get what you need. And then after that, all we have to do is do some fishing. So just left of the teleport shrine to this location is a nice little river. So I went ahead and gathered some bait, got my fishing pole out, and just started fishing. After catching like 5 or 6 fish, I then jumped into my inventory and crossed my fingers and began salvaging them. So, as you can tell, as I salvage them, I'm getting this new quest item. Sometimes you'll get nothing, sometimes you'll actually get the item. So, again, luck of the draw. Worst case, just keep fishing and you'll get exactly what you need. At that point, we have what we need to go back to over to Brightwood and talk to Aelstrom to complete this set of quests. As we speak with him, it's going to yet again be kind of a similar cycle to what we already know. He's going to ask us to use these quest items that we just gathered up to now craft 4 adventurer caches, which is the next tier of caches above novice. So we're going to go ahead and craft these items. Again, just go to any of these crafting stations. I went to the forge and I was able to craft a armor cache and a weapon cache and get up some, some pretty decent upgrades as well, which will definitely help you, because the second part of this quest is that you actually have to complete your first expedition, which can be a little bit scary. But again, don't worry. I mean, you can even hit up a level 65 character to help you through Amrine. and it'll just make your life so much easier, and you don't have to stress about dying. Just play it safe and you'll be fine. At this point, I also highly recommend that you take a look at the trading post and pick up a 350 gear score weapon. Regardless of what weapon you use, there typically is a handful of named weapons that you can now equip at this level that also have a pretty decent gear score. So again, you can probably get this for like 20 to 50 gold each, equipped it, and then jump into a Amaran expedition. Again, you can use global chat or the expedition finder to find a group, but be careful of who you group up with. You want to make sure that you have some competent players who know what they're doing, just so you don't have to stress about dying or having some sort of mistake while in the dungeon. There's no issues with grabbing some high levels as well to help you throughout it. Regardless, though, it should be pretty easy, and then you'll be able to complete this next story quest here and pick up a ton of experience. Guess what? After completing that, you are now level 47. You just jumped basically over 20 levels, and now you have a ton of new attribute points, and you can, again, make sure that you uh, redistribute your weapon mastery skills to make sure you're ready for the next fight. After this, you leave Brightwood, head over to Great Cleave, and yet again get your next set of quests. This is once again very, very similar to what we know, except this time we have to defeat elite or named enemies. We have to loot large chests. We have to do more gathering of resources. You can then, either take down corrupted breaches or salvage fish. And then you have this optional item down here. Honestly, between us, I would not even look at this. I did not have to do it. I basically just went to the Shrine of Herald here with some buddies and jumped over here. And this spot alone helped me complete probably most of the quests very, very quickly. So there's some large chests right away over here. Once you take down and mine that giant piece of ore there, you're going to see 3 named tentacles within the level criteria. So you can take those down, get more quest items, and yet another chest that these guys are on top of, and really just take care of these quests very, very quickly. Again, this is just a matter of a few minutes, and you'll get exactly what you need in this area. If not, though, just explore. There's going to be more named mobs and more chests in this general location. So once you get what you need here, you're going to head back over to Great Cleave, chat with our buddy Aelstrom, and once again, he's going to ask you to craft some caches. At this point, I just went over to the I think it was the forge or the outfitting station. Yep, right here. And I honestly just crafted a handful of jewelry caches and went back over to Aelstrom because at this point, I already know it's coming. I'm about to jump a ton of levels. So I'm talking to Aelstrom here. I'm completing the quest. And guess what? You just did it. You are now officially level 65 already after probably an hour, maybe 2 hours of gameplay. Again, it's really just finding the prime locations to grind out these different quest items to turn them in, have what you need to kind of unlock that next criteria of levels. But again, level 65, you guys are already max level, mission accomplished. At this point, you're going to want to jump over to your journey tab, and you'll now see the hardcore kind of achievements that you can do. So I already hit level 65, so you can claim that, but you'll also want to start crafting more of those caches. You're going to want to craft up to 50 of them to get that achievement, and then you're also going to want to equip 10 artifacts. So you're going to want to just start playing it safe at this point, doing some chest runs, unlocking some artifacts, and prepping yourself for these very difficult challenges here, such as the raid, the sandworm, and some M3 content. I do want to call out, don't be a hero. Take a look at my HP. I literally have 23.5k HP, tons of constitution, and I'm just hanging out at the back of the pack. Play it safe, do some world tours. You're going to pick up some more crafting materials to get some extremely powerful caches, which you'll see in just a second. But again, at this point, you're really just playing the end game and leveling up your character to prepare yourself for the ultimate challenges of that 10-man raid, the sandworm, and some M3s, which again are very, very difficult. Plus, these are awesome. I love Burkhardt specifically because you can do these corrupted portals and get started on unlocking some artifacts. Just doing one world tour here, I actually got like 2 or 3 artifacts, tons and tons of upgrades, and tons of these crafting materials to unlock some new caches. And here's what I'm talking about. The heroes caches basically provide you with 725 max gear score items, which prep you to grind out some of these artifacts a lot easier and also get you prepared for M3s and once again those very difficult titles for unfallen adventures to unlock. And that really covers it. Again, it's very easy to hit max level as well as max gear score. I mean, I only did 2, maybe 3 elite zones for world tours after I hit max level, and I already had enough crafting materials to get enough caches to hit max gear score. You can see right now, I'm just taking a look at some of these items, equipping them, and I'm quickly jumping up to max gear score and giving myself the power I need to take on M3s, raids, and more to eventually get those very sought after titles. But again, it's up to you on whether or not you want to get those. If you do, go for it. If not, go ahead and just kill your character and take care of all the unfallen quests and then move back to your main character and call it a season. Because again, this seasonal world will only last 1 month, so you might as well just juice it all you can to get all the rewards and then jump back to your main character and have some more fun across Aeternum. Thanks again, and I'll catch you guys later.